Today, we're talking about what it means to stop being pain driven and start being peace driven. Why the calm isn't weakness, it's actually power. And how the way to respond right now determines your life after divorce. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and the author of The Divorce Playbook, the one and only Gio Sardo.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm excited for this one. The mindset shift, everything that has to do with, the way that you approach things, the way that you decide that enough is enough, and now we're going to put the garbage to the side and we're going to focus on strategy and we're going to focus on healing and getting better. It's honestly one of my favorite topics.
And you hit it bang on. It's you decide. Like no one else is deciding for you. You have to come to that realization and make that decision for yourself. And I think that's one of the hardest things because people are just lost in the weeds. And
They're
that's
lost in the weeds. There's outside factors that slow them down. And then, you can go out and have the best coaches, the best therapists, but we know this. You could lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. So you could have all of the positive influence around you, but if you don't get off your ass and do it yourself, brother, ain't nobody doing it for you.
I couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. So look, Gio, you say in this chapter that divorce isn't about ending something, it's about completing something. And that's a big reframe. So what does completion actually mean in real life?
You know, when you complete something, you come to the end of it. Yeah, we talk about forever and always till death do us part. And, that would be absolutely beautiful. But the reality is that some things get completed and you get to move on to something else. If you go into this with the mindset of it's over, it's a disaster, it's this, it's that, it's going to take you so much more to heal and to move forward. But if you twist the mindset and say, you know what? Me and this person spent X amount of time together. That was our path. And it came to an end because we are both meant for something else. It's a chapter in a journey. You know, we see it, right? When we're kids, you go to elementary school, you come to an end, you've completed at elementary school, you go to high school, you complete high school, college, whatever. You come to the end of a job to go start something else. Why do we need to put a negative spin on anything that comes across?
It's a
You
common trap. It is a common trap because we're designed to look at the negative. Okay. And you are exactly who you think you are and who you say you are. So language, and like you said before, like language is the most important thing. If you say, I'm over this. This is done. I'm moving on to the next chapter. What you're telling yourself is actually what's happening, what's going on. That's all part of mindset.
it's all a part of mindset, it's all a part of healing, and it spills into absolutely everything. Like you said, we're designed to look at the negative. It's because the negative is easier. The negative is it's easier to say they hurt me. It's easier to say they're all against me. It's easier to use all of this negative crap versus I'm putting my foot down. We live in a society that loves the victim mentality. Oh, woe is me. Yeah, you know what? You're going through something tough. I get it. So is the majority of everybody else. But what's the difference between the winners and those that cannot get into the winner's circle? It's all about mindset.
Totally agree with that, my friend. So, look, I know that this may seem obvious to some people, but You make a strong distinction between being pain driven and being peace driven. How do people know which one they're actually operating from?
Oh, that's easy. Pain driven brings all the negative emotions out. Pain driven seeks to punish the other person.
Mm.
Pain driven makes you look in the mirror and say, I am a victim of all of this. I don't deserve this. Peace driven is whatever has happened, I'm going to turn it into the best possible situation for me. Peace driven is, hey, 1 plus 1 equals 5. Fantastic. No problem. You're right. Because you're now picking your battles. We all know those negative people where you can tell them this is a bottle of water. They'll
Mhm.
say, no, it's a bottle of Coke. Okay, it's a bottle of Coke. Why? Because no matter what you say, no matter what you prove to them, right? You can take a bottle of Coke, put it beside it, or for this case, a can of Monster, and say, look, they're different. And they'll say, no, it isn't. Okay, why are we battling these people? You choose who has access to your energy. Hear that again. You choose who has access to your energy. So if your mindset is not going to be one of healing and development, you're never going to get anywhere.
And that is the hard truth. It's you making that choice. And you say, that peace isn't soft. It's weaponized calm. And I think that's so powerful because it is. So why is calm so threatening in a high conflict divorce?
Because you're not allowing them to get the reaction out of you that they want.
Bingo. Bingo.
What's divorce? Divorce is conflict. Divorce is I'm gonna piss you off and knock you off your rocker so that strategy wise you're not able to handle anything that I bring. Oh, they're this, oh, they're that, they're never gonna agree. So they intentionally try to get at you to knock you off your rocker, to change your mindset so that when you think of them, you automatically get into this fear mode
Mhm.
where now you gotta settle, where now you're facing the big bad wolf. Let me tell you, I've been on both sides of the coin, and I'm actually in it right now, not personally, but in my home situation, um, where there's people around us that use that,
Mhm.
and bro, we laugh in their face. We laugh in their face. We see the stupidity coming. You know, a lot of times when I work with people, it's like, okay, watch. The next 3 steps are this. This is going to happen. But how do you know? Because people who choose negativity think they're the smartest people in the world. They think that they're reinventing the wheel. They think that, you know, they're the first ones to come up with these negative strategies. You're not. What? The talking behind my back? You think you created that? The saying shit to my entourage? You think you created that? You don't think I don't see you coming? But here's the thing: when people use this mindset, right, especially for our entourage, I see it as, you know what? The people who are gonna listen to this crap, thank you, because you're proving that you never deserve to be a part of my circle.
Mhm.
But the ones that deserve to be a part of my circle are going to come to you and say, hey, did you hear this shit? Let's laugh about it.
And you can only come up with that when you come from a place of peace. When you approach it being peace driven, because that's the only time that it can actually give you some clarity on what's actually going on. Okay, because a lot of people when they operate from pain, you're not thinking, man. You just want to get back with the other person. You want to get at them. You want to get under their skin. You're not looking at the big picture. You're not thinking clear, and you're hurting yourself. You don't see it. So
Yeah.
it's very important.
And let me share this story with you, okay, about being calm driven. All right.
Mm.
Back between 2016 2019, I was in an abusive relationship where I was the person abused emotionally, psychologically, up until physically. But we're going to remove that part. She had 3 kids, and there were issues in the custody and this and that. And he decided to pull the Child Protective Services card.
Okay.
So I get a call from my then girlfriend. Oh my God, I'm freaking out, and this and that, the papa pee and papa pa. Oh, peace driven. It's okay. No, but you don't understand that we're going to lose the kids. Da, da, da. Settle down. I go, they made a report. Have you done anything wrong? No. Okay. Have I done anything wrong? No. Okay. Tell the person to come over 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock comes around. The person says she's freaking out. I'm there. I'm sitting down. I've got my water. I'm just fucking, I'm relaxed. And the guy starts. He goes, well, he goes, there's been a complaint against you. We've met with the kids. And okay, fine. I'm like, bring it out. He goes, okay. Um, the kids don't like that they have a 9 o'clock bedtime. I go, oh my God. I'm such a monster. Go on, please. Um, the kids don't like that they have chores. My God. How, why isn't SWAT knocking down my door? What else? Please, sir, go on. When the kids eat, they don't like that they're forced to eat vegetables. And if they don't eat their vegetables, they don't get dessert. He looks at me, he's confused. He's like, why do you have your hands up? I'm like, because obviously you're here to arrest me. I looked at her. I go, babe, I go, put your hands out. I go, we're getting arrested. She's still freaking out. I go, is there something else? She goes, no. She goes, it's just that, there's rules and this and that. And because we got called, we have to come out and investigate. So I asked, I go, is there anything else? No. Okay, fine. I go, so what happens now? And the guy tells me, he goes, you know what? He goes, I'm a father of 2 kids. He goes, I'm here because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, have yourselves a great night. So then we call the kids back to the table. I go, follow my lead. I go, kids, I don't know what to
Wait.
tell
Were
you.
they there during this
They
process?
were they were in the basement. We had them apart and they didn't hear. And so I'm like, kids, I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know it was this bad. Like, you know, I'm like, I didn't know that the mental torture that I was making you live. So they're there. They're like, okay, so we don't have to eat vegetables anymore. We could go to. I'm like, well, I'm like, the gentleman from CPS said that we're amazing parents and there's absolutely nothing that we're doing wrong. And so, you know what? We're just going to continue. I go, and now the rules are just going to get tighter. I go, if you thought that you didn't like a vegetable that you just had, now you have to eat your vegetables. I go, now there's no. The kids, you saw the power drain from their face. But all this was only possible because I approached it from a position of peace. I know what I've done. I'm not going to allow anybody to knock me off my rocker. I know who I am. You don't like me? Congratulations. And I always say it. The amount of people that like me doesn't even get from my front door to my driveway. The line of people that hate me goes to the end of my driveway, down the block, down the highway, crosses the US border, and probably down into Mexico. And I'm okay with it because I'm at peace with who I am.
That's a great perspective to have. You're authentic. You're you. You're uniquely you, and it doesn't matter. You either you like it or you don't. You're being yourself, and you're coming from peace. You're constantly gonna be tested with your kids, especially if you're operating with a blended family with your ex. You're always going to be tested, and I can't tell you enough how coming from a place of peace is and you say it yourself. So you say that when you're going through divorce, 20% is legal, 80% is psychological. But a lot of people really put way too much on the legal part. I mean, yes, that's important, but it just goes to show you how much of that 80% is all psychological. It's all mindset. It's all coming from a place of peace and clarity.
The law is there. Everything is spelled out. It's all about preparation. There's guidelines in place. You get an attorney, you follow your attorney, you're going to be fine. That 20% is there. 80% is your reaction. And look, in my first divorce, I came out with binders of screenshots of text messages of emails, and because I needed to show the emotion of the other side. And when you come at it from a place of peace, people get angry. Because when you can't control the other person's emotions, it pisses you off. And look, I love 90s rap. I love 90s R&B, okay? As much as everybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge country fan now, but go to the 90s. There was a rapper named Nas who said, people fear what they don't understand and hate what they can't conquer.
Say that again.
When
I like
people
that.
fear what they don't understand and they hate what they can't conquer. So when you're going into divorce and the other person does things that sets you off, they are conquering you. The
Mm.
second you change that mindset and you say, you know what, this ain't happening no more, you pull away all of their power. And now they're going to hate you even more. You're still going to burn energy on them. But I'd rather burn energy seeing my opponent lose their shit because I'm not giving them anything than have to battle with them.
That's the hard truth, Gio. And very, very good point. I mean, for me, I know so personally, it I've always tried to come from peace, but my first reaction is pain because you get that stimulation, or you get that whatever it is, communication, and automatically the pain is there. And then what I do, and I've learned this in my NLP trainings, there's a tool that we use called perceptual positions. What I'll do is how you do this tool is basically you step into different perspectives, focusing on each other's needs and detaching as an observer. So I'll give you an example. Your ex tells you she starts arguing to you about some parenting time. She wants to switch the schedule or whatever the situation is. So she's sitting in a chair. So close your eyes. You imagine her in one chair, you in the other chair, and then you imagine yourself listening to what she's saying, and then you look at that. You take that perspective on your own needs, and then you flip it, and you go into her chair, listening to yourself responding and trying to understand where you're coming from, and then you're a fly on the wall. So now you're sitting there watching these two people go at it. And it's a powerful tool because what it does is it develops empathy, because you're trying to understand, what is she trying to accomplish from this? What am I trying to accomplish from this? Look at the way we sound, and how what we're trying to meet a need, of course. So it helps resolve conflict, it enhances communication, and most importantly, it increases self-awareness. So this is a powerful tool, and I'll during one of the episodes, I'll actually, we can even do a live, just a live session on that. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's so powerful.
No, and I love that perspective, because you know what? It's learning to put yourself in someone else's shoes. So I've got a client right now, and I'm not going to give any information that could divulge, and I'll twist a couple of details so that, even if they're listening, they'll doubt. They'll be like, "Is this me?" And they'll know. And I also have permission to modify this part of the story. So going through divorce, he fell in love again. He has kids.
Wait, fell in love with
She,
the same person?
sorry,
Fell in love with the same person?
no, fell in love with another person.
Okay, good,
And
good, good.
now, like, the girlfriend is about to meet the kids. Look, there's 150 million theories as to whether or not you should be dating or not, whether or not the kids should be meeting or not, and this and that, and that's another 17 shows that we can do.
Hmm.
But when the ex found out about the new girlfriend, lost her mind. Gio, she went on a rant, 45 minutes, da, da, da. Okay. I go, so she was expressing pain. I go, but you were smart. You took it in. Okay. Like, and you let her be. But afterwards, this is the last time we're talking about it. He wanted to take this from a position of peace. He listened, put himself in her shoes, understandably. Now, we also found out a couple of things on the other side, that if we were to approach it from a position of pain, we could really go on the offensive. But the only question I ask is, what's the point? You want peace for your relationship. You want peace to introduce your kids to this new person. But how can you get peace for this situation if you take out the flamethrower and try to burn her down? And this is what a lot of people, they don't think about, right? This is where you're not able, when you're not coming from a place of peace, you want something, but the other person wants the exact same thing, and you won't work towards making sure that you can meet in the middle. So where you want peace to be able to date and this and that, and I'm just using that as one example, well, you're going to blast her personal life and what she's doing and this. Hold on a second. Coming from a place of peace is understanding you don't owe your ex anything anymore. But your ex doesn't owe you anything anymore.
That's the key, though, Gio. And I felt like this myself is we think we owe them something. We think we owe them, and it comes from a place of guilt. Even we think we owe them an explanation. We need to over-explain.
We think they owe us something. And that's not true. Listen, when I left my son's mom, despite the battles, despite the everything, and this is really, I'm going to change one word so we don't get censored, but I was like, for me, when my son is with me, it's my time. You get no say. When our son is with you, I have no say. I looked at her dead in the eyes and said, listen, when the kid is with you, I want him to be safe and I want him to be fed. Start with that, the basics. When the kid comes over to my house, you could become a corn star for all I care. Become a corn star. I don't care. Don't use his room and do what the hell you want. Because you don't owe me anything anymore and I don't owe you anything anymore. But when you have our kid, you protect and you be a parent. People are going to do whatever the hell it is that they want. You don't have control over people.
Bingo. It's control. And that's the hardest thing. I think people have a hard time letting go because they still think I have control, but they don't.
But
Well, when you feed into it, when you go at it from a pain place, you're giving them that control, and that's the
absolutely.
key right here.
And this is with or without kids. You've built,
Mhm.
you have a house together, you have two cars, you have whatever it is. You, not your circus, not your monkeys. That person no longer shares their life with you. So you cannot impose things on it. And again, I'm going to give that reminder. We're not talking about the 15% on either side. We're talking about the 70% in the middle. Because people are going to say, yeah, but in my yes, I understand some situations are going to be worse than others. But until you shift your mindset where you're taking care of you, you're going to be caught in a war. And nobody wins in a war. Nobody. And especially not you. And how many years of your life are you going to piss away in the battle, in the victimization of what's going on? And I get it. It hurts. And the next shows we're going to talk about, entourage, your crew, mental health, physical health, emotional health. We're going to go through all that. And I know a lot of people are saying, Gio, Matteo, it's easy to say come from a place of peace. The reality is that until you change your mindset, and look, if you want to look at it from a war mentality, okay, being angry is a machine gun,
Yes.
okay? Actually, I'm gonna modify a quote from Eric Thomas, who's a motivational speaker, okay? Anger, it's like those action movies where the guy's running through the building and is spreading bullets all over the place. He's not hitting anything, but he's unloading bullet after bullet after bullet everywhere. Coming from a place of peace, you're a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a sniper. 3 bullets, 3 kills. That's it. You're hyper focused. You're understanding what your mission is. You're not buying into the garbage anymore.
And I'll even add to that. You're coming in with that machine gun, just spraying the room. You're going to hit innocent bystanders. And who are those bystanders? Your kids. This is who it's going to affect, your kids. So
Your
at the end of the day,
kids, your parents, your friends, you're this, you're that. Everyone is gonna be collateral damage. And I've seen it. And I've seen people do things to her. Like, I've seen people go after the friends of the now ex and say, I want you to be my friend. So they don't show the support to you. And coming from a place of anger, you lose your mind. Coming from a place of peace is, thank you for showing me that you never deserved to be in my corner. God bless you. Go in peace.
blessing in disguise.
It's a blessing in disguise. Doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. There's people who have friendships of 15, 20, 25 years. That this person comes into their life, they spend 10 years together, and then when they leave, they take. When I left my son's mom, my father had already been dead, okay, for a few years. My uncle, my father's brother, said, Gio, I'm now taking on that role of your father. When I got divorced, my uncle's wife wanted to stay best friends with my ex. So I looked at my uncle and I said, knock it off, please. Show me you're in my corner. You're the one who said you're replacing my father.
Mhm.
It was Gio. I can't tell my wife what to do. And I looked at him and I said, you're absolutely right. I shook his hand and I said, this is where you and I end.
Wow.
And I walked. I chose peace rather than battling with my family. I gave my ex my uncle in the divorce. I said, here, go. And I don't regret it because I wasn't going to be a part of that drama.
Wow.
I lost
And
my dad when I was 18, Matteo. This man decided from that moment that he was going to be my father or my father figure, whichever way you want to put it. But his wife did not want to let go of my ex. Fine, go in peace. I'm not going to battle for anybody to stay in my life. Life is too short. We hear stories about it. Life is too short. People that are young that die for out of the blue, whatever. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the next episode. We never know what's going to happen. I'm not going to waste my time with people that don't want to be there for me. But I can either release them with anger where there's animosity and all this crap, or I can say, you've made a decision and I'm going to respect it.
Mhm.
You're no longer good for me, but I don't have to fight you. I don't.
Very true. Out of curiosity, so that was a while back. What have they come around? Have things changed?
I saw my uncle once. This was about 4 years ago. His son had a birthday party, but it fell on my weekend.
Hmm.
So my ex asked me, can you bring Anto to the party? Not a problem. It was one of these fun centers. There's bowling, arcades, whatever. So I bring Antonio there, and it's a 2 hour party. I go to sit at the bar. I'm having a drink, waiting. And my uncle comes up to me and says, how are you? It's been a while. And I looked at him, I go, "Excuse me, sir, how may I help you?" And he goes, "Well, I saw you, I wanted to say hi." Why? We made our choices a few years ago. Now, if you're here because you want to mend the bridge, fine. We can set up to have that talk, because if somehow you've come to decide that, hey, I want my nephew back, fine. Because I just wanted to see how you were doing. I'm like, life is fantastic. It was nice seeing you. I'm going to go back to my drink. And he walked away. I chose peace. I chose peace.
That's powerful, Gio. Uh, a lot of people, and myself included, I will get into unnecessary conversations with people I want nothing to do with because I'm just trying to be nice, or I just don't want to. And that's kind of my version of coming
I
from a
get it.
place of peace, right? But then afterwards, there's chaos in my own mind because I'm like, oh, I saw that person. It's so useless. And you're so much better off to set boundaries and to kind of approach things that way. And that's true peace.
Yeah.
When you try to have that meaningless conversation, that what people call small talk, just surface level talk,
I can't.
for what?
I
It's like you
can't.
talk to people and you're like, when you talk to certain people, you're like, yeah, we got to get together, and it's never going to happen. It's just a saying. Hey, we got to get together, but it doesn't happen.
You know what I tell people now? Yeah, you're right. We should get together. I'll wait for my phone to ring. Make the effort. When my phone rings, we'll go for coffee. So, is it easy to shift your mindset? No, it isn't. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Do you probably need help on how to get there? More than likely. That's why there's true divorce coaches like you and I that exist. I'm going to end off with saying that, Matteo, you and I live in a very sick industry.
Mm-hmm.
There's Anybody can wake up tomorrow morning and decide to be a divorce coach, and can decide to be a coach of any kind. The certifications that are available are all bullshit. Okay. And we're talking about divorce coaching because I know you're PNL certified. I'm PCM certified, which is not divorce specific. It's communication behavior specific.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be really careful as to who you choose as a coach. You have to get the ones that are going to challenge your mindset to make you better. And if you're really serious about working with a coach, and I'm not saying it has to be me, I'm not saying it has to be you, make sure it's one that is dedicated to making your life better for the right reasons. The second they mention challenging your ex, the mention of drama of this and that, they're not the person for you. And we're going to have shows where we're going to talk about selecting an attorney, selecting a coach, and I'm not even adverse to having, other divorce coaches come on our show. But if you're serious about changing your mindset, get somebody that's from outside of your circle, but everything about them is about empowering you to be better.
Spot on. Spot on. They have to expose what you're not seeing. They have to make you become aware of what's going on and make you accountable. to everything that you're doing.
I'm going to tweak
And
one
if you,
thing.
yeah,
They have to make you see what you refuse to see, because you see
correct,
it. You
correct,
see it.
correct.
So I hope if you've listened to this show that there's a little bit more of an open mind, a better understanding. We're always available through our social medias to be able to give that advice, that wisdom, and we're going to continue to bring it. But folks, if you don't approach your divorce from a position of peace, the amount of heartache and pain and anger is going to be overwhelming, and it's going to haunt you for years.
That's the truth.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having tuned into this episode of Divorce Real Talk. We hope that we have opened your mind a little bit more. We're looking forward to the next ones. So keep tuning in, keep sharing, invite people to follow on the social media, and we'll see you in the next episode.